So the interesting thing about doing Airbnb is that you can do Airbnb or vacation rentals, not just Airbnb. You can do it like full time and you can do it as like a side gig. So I think it's perfect for like both of those situations where you can kind of figure out the speed that you want to do it.
We started as a side gig.
We started as a side gig
We
and
did.
then we pretty much just took it full time, y'all. So it's so good because I'm gonna break it down to like the very bottom of what I would call like doing not bottom, but the very lower level of doing Airbnb, where you might have just like an empty space in your house, you know what I mean, your house that you living in.
Yeah.
You might have a room in there, ain't nobody in there. It's just sitting. It's a whole bedroom. You can literally take that space and list it on sites like Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, whatever the case, and you can make side money off of a vacant bedroom in your crib. You can have people stay for vacation. You can do it to where it's like I'm not taking nobody who don't need a place to stay for less than 30 days.
Oh yeah.
Like you can side gig it. And that's just extra money because you already living in the house too.
Yep. So
So
now it's paying your mortgage
right,
or your rent
right.
or whatever the case may be. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like the true side hustle, right? Where you have an asset that pays for something else.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like with side gigs, I used to like, because me myself, I didn't have like a ton of side gigs. It's always like this hustle bustle, this thing that you got to do.
You
You
tired.
tired, you
'Cause you gotta leave
overworked,
one and go to
and
the
go to
next.
other. But side gigs don't have to be like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You want to get you something that is literally making you bread in your sleep. So Airbnb is a really good way. If you got an extra room in your house, that's the easiest way to just get some side bread,
Yeah.
right? And you don't have to worry about like, things happening. Things are going to happen regardless, y'all.
Yeah.
All right? But there are ways to obviously keep yourself safe. Everybody not crazy.
Nope.
So it's like it's a perfect side gig because you can literally start with like nothing.
Nothing. Not only that, though, Airbnb does its own due diligence to double check the backgrounds of the people, making sure that the driver's license that they put in
Mm-hmm.
is exactly is exactly what they is exactly who they are. So they also do a really good job of trying to vet the guests. You also can do certain settings in your Airbnb
Mm-hmm.
in your Airbnb settings that will, prevent certain guests from automatically booking your unit. So it's a really good side gig,
Yeah.
especially if you have like a room in your house. And what's really crazy is that sometimes it doesn't even have to be a room. It could be a tent in your backyard because your backyard is mad big,
Yeah.
and now it's an experience. There's so many things that you can do. The Airbnb world is so vast. It's there's so many things that you could do, y'all. Before we decided to turn this basement into a studio, we were gonna Airbnb it out. I remember telling our realtor like, we about to Airbnb this out.
Yeah, we was because that was the plan. Because it's like, why not?
Why
You
not?
can make side money. Somebody is going to pay you. That bedroom that you just got sitting there looking at you every
Yeah.
morning, you got it all dressed up, made up nice too. The bed is made.
Yep.
It's ready
So
to
you're not
go.
even doing anything extra. You're doing
You
the same
doing the
thing that you
same
would do for
thing.
your guests that would just come to stay with
That's
you.
come to stay with you, right? And believe it or not, y'all, there are people in the world. The price of everything is up.
Yeah.
There are people in the world who will travel. They will stay with you. They cool. They won't mess with you. Nothing. They just want somewhere to stay. I'm not here to convince you to let a stranger in your house. Basically, what I'm saying is that Airbnb is a really good side gig.
Really good.
Because you can start literally with no money. If you already got a place to stay in a vacant room, you can literally start with no money down.
Nothing.
You don't have to buy no furniture because you already got a bed in there. You don't have to put no TV. All that stuff is there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you live there too. So all the money that you was paying for your rent or whatever your mortgage, now somebody else is about to come in and
pay that for you.
I'm guaranteed you can get the whole thing paid, y'all. Whole thing paid.
Yep.
So it's very important for you to look at options like this as side gigs. You don't have to go out and necessarily drive for Uber or whatever if you don't want to, if you got a 2-bedroom or you have the potential to get a 2-bedroom. And you're like, I'm gonna use one room for me, and the other room is probably downstairs or wherever it is in the house. I'm gonna rent that one out. So think of Airbnb is an awesome idea for side money, y'all. I'm telling you, it's very, very good. You can literally do nothing and have people come and stay with you. I know some areas like Houston, Texas, places that have these big houses. And not saying you need a big house to do this. No. But the places that got like the big houses, they be having some of them room
shared
spaces, and I know people who have visited these places and they've
been really nice
and they like it. It's a dope experience. The owners be cool. Yep. You know what I mean? Now you get to meet people. So this is an awesome side gig, y'all. And then it can go both ways. You can have it in a space in your house where y'all don't meet, y'all don't talk. Yep. Nothing. Y'all don't see each other.
Away. There's a lock.
They over there. You over there.
Separate entrance. Another thing too is like, let's say that you are a truck driver and you have your own space, right? But you driving, you going for 3 months at a time. Your place is just sitting there.
Oh my
empty.
gosh. I'm so glad you brought that
just
up.
Sitting there empty.
For the people, yes, speak on that. For the people who work out of town, you ain't never home anyway. Oh my gosh. You just sitting on something that could be making you money to pay for itself. Yep. Plus extra money for you to have some fun with. You already not there. So for my people out there who, have those travel jobs. Yep. Think about having your space on these sites. Extra money, y'all.
Extra money. What's really good about it too is that you can block your calendar out. Yeah. So when you are ready to come back home and you need your space back, you get your cleaners to clean your unit the way that they're supposed to, and then you go home and you got your space. Yeah. You got your space, but your space has been paying for itself. Yeah. And making you more bread. And you don't, you'll be able to block off certain spaces. So say once again, if you got a 2-bedroom, but you only want to rent out 1 bedroom of the house, you can block your spaces off, y'all. So you guys are literally, there's somebody right now who's sitting on some money and you don't even really know it because your mind hasn't allowed you to think that far. Like, yo, I got this extra space in my house and I didn't turn it into an office. Yeah. And I don't even do office work. So it's literally just sitting there. So guys, think about stuff like that. Now you can take these small ideas and go big. I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
You can go big. You can go big, y'all. Look, I ain't never thought about I ain't never in my life thought I was going to be doing this, y'all. Ever, never. I literally just took a side thing and blew it up, right? That's what we did. Yeah. So obviously y'all already know, the benefits of doing Airbnb on a larger scale, y'all. But we want to tell y'all a little bit about how you can kind of go from that side gig and to make it bigger, right? Because when you're doing a side gig, there are some things that maybe you can slide on. But when you like go from like doing it on a smaller scale to like a larger scale, there are other things to think about. Still, you can still treat it as a full-time job because it is a full-time job. It is. But it's a little bit different from doing it as a side gig. Can I do it as a side gig or full-time? Yes. But it's differences that come with both. I think one of the main differences with side gig and like full-time is the absolute need to have your space occupied. So whereas you on side gig timing, you might can let Airbnb do your promotion for you. All you gotta do is just list it and sleep. Yeah. People gonna be booking your space. You ain't gotta do too much. It's cool.
Yeah. There's no marketing involved.
You ain't gotta really market, right? This is side money. People gonna book it if it's nice. Okay, cool. But when you go and you talk about, hey, I gotta make a living off of this, right? I have to get people in these units in order to pay my bills, right? Because I don't have another job. You gotta start. It's different. You want to start thinking about marketing, right? Then you gotta start thinking about maybe hiring some people to help you with these units. So yes, you can do Airbnb as a side gig and as full time, but there are pros and cons of both.
Because it's a side hustle, right? And you don't want to have that side hustle where you constantly like working, breaking your back, right? This is a side job where it's really just money coming in. When that Airbnb thing off at night, oh, I got a booking.
Yeah.
You know, it's that. But then when you start to become full time, right now you want to put things inside your unit to make people want to come because you want to stay occupied.
Yep.
You know, instead of like as a side hustle, it's like, oh, I just got this room real
This
quick.
bed, yeah.
It's just a bed.
Just a
People will
bed.
just come and book your bed.
Yeah.
And now you're making an extra couple dollars a night. But when you full time, right? Because now this is you have to pay your bills with this now, right? All the time. This is your lifeline. So you want to make sure that you put things inside of your unit that makes people want to come and see you.
Yeah.
People want to book your place, right? It's no longer just Airbnb algorithm and allowing it to do what it does. No, you gotta tell people about your reviews now. Now you want to make sure that you're getting good reviews, right? Because the reviews is what keeps you circulating through the algorithm. So, you just want to make sure that once you slide into the full time of, short-term rental Airbnb, that you want to make sure that that you took it up, like Kanisha said, like to another level, right? Now you care about this product. Now you are a solution for someone, right? Now when you're thinking about your units, you're like, how can I be, like, I know somebody's going to want someplace to stay, but do they want someplace to stay that has a king bed or a queen bed? So now you're thinking about those type of things, right? It changes the whole kind of dynamics. But it's still, it's still a really good passive income if you do it the right way. We're very involved in all of our units, right? Because we run everything. We have all of the hats right now. But, I think that there are days where we don't have to message a customer. We don't have to go to a unit. There's several days like that, actually. We went on vacation and we just left.
Yeah, there are days where we it's just rolling.
So it's still also, I know we talk about how, full time changes the game, but short-term rentals can still be passive. It can still be very passive. Right now, as we are speaking, we have messages going out to our customers, thanking them for coming or welcoming them for coming, or we got people checking in, and we are, right now, as we are talking to you guys. So I think that, more than anything for me, the short-term rental game has been it's been great as a side hustle, and it's been great as a full-time hustle. And I think that it's really great because if you get it to the way that you want it to be, or that it should really run, really, right? It's not even the way you want it to be. It's the way it should run, because it shouldn't be stressful and all that other stuff. Then it's very passive, y'all.
Very passive.
And then you get a co-host, and now you ain't even doing nothing.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more pro of doing it full time.
The money.
Ooh, but that's easy. That's easy though, right, y'all? Y'all know that. Go ahead, break that down though, because that's the obvious.
First, we started with one. And then we were 9 to 5 in it, 9 to 5 in it. I was a supervisor, y'all. So I was like in management, like doing this, right?
Working.
And so we were able to do so many things doing it as a side hustle and like working. Like, y'all, gosh, there were so many things we were able to do. We were able to travel so much. I think we went to Jamaica twice.
As a side gig.
As a side hustle.
We was moving around. The money is still, so think about it like this. You got your money you got from your job, right? Yes. Your job is decent. And then you have like this whole other thing that is literally probably generating probably 60% of your monthly pay.
Yeah.
Right? So you getting good bread. You're getting what you get paid plus almost another like paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on what type of space you gotta offer. If you have like
honest?
go ahead.
I was making $85,000.
Let's talk about it.
A year.
Let's give it up.
I was making $85,000 a year when I left corporate America. And that was like, I think after taxes and insurance and all of that stuff, it was like $3,000 per paycheck, right? So I'm making $3,000 every 2 weeks. Kanisha's working too, right?
Yep, I'm working.
So what was you
Slaving.
making?
I think I was making like 56,000.
Yeah.
I think I was making 56,000.
So we were making a good living.
Yeah.
Like
it was decent. It was good for us.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say
we
it
were
was
able
decent.
to buy a house.
It was a good living.
It was a good living. We were able to buy this house. We were able to do a lot of things.
We was able to do stuff.
But y'all, when we started side hustling, that's when we bought the house. Actually. Yes. It gave us the means to be able to put a down payment. Imagine, as a side hustle on our, I think I want to tell you, like, just one unit, because we started with one unit, y'all. One unit in 1 month, I think in July. Was it July? I think July was like our first real month. Good month, right? Because it's the summer and everything. Spring was really good too, but I think it was the summer that really showed us, like, oh, okay, we could do this.
Yeah, this is real.
Yeah. So I think, y'all, we made $7,000. Now at this time it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house.
It's a big house.
We only had 3 beds in it at the time. You know, it's not even souped up to where it is now, because now it's crazy. But you know, at that time, so we made $7,000 in a month, and that was on top of what we were making. This was as a side hustle. We had already decided how to hire cleaners. We had already decided how to automate by this time. So think about it in terms of like us working our 9-to-5 jobs and making, you know, $8,000 a month or whatever. Already.
On
Not,
top.
Yes.
Already from the work. And the job was cool.
You know, we bring on this side hustle. Now, mind you, I'm just giving y'all July examples, but we opened in January. So we have been making this extra money since then, right? Remember, we had to get this unit because we bought a house. And so now we paying two mortgages. We're trying to figure out how to do that. And so, you know, that paid the mortgage itself. Use business credit to be able to furnish it and all these other things. So, you know, so I just wanted to show you guys that as a side hustle, it could be really great. We're not telling everybody to go quit their jobs tomorrow.
No.
Right? Because you don't have to.
No.
If you are one of those people that like just want 1 or 2, or you got a little space or whatever the case may be, and you just want to make a little extra money, you can do that.
You can use this, y'all. This is not doing Airbnb. Don't mean, hey, let me go and quit my job and go ahead in on Airbnb. No, I'm talking to the people who just trying to figure out, hey, what can I do to put some more money in my pocket without taking time away from my family? You know what I'm saying? Or taking time away, or putting more pressure on my body, or putting my health at risk, or my safety at risk. Whatever it is, I'm talking about. If you can go from selling T-shirts for extra money or whatever to doing Airbnb, it's the same thing. It's just like any other side gig. Uber, DoorDash, it's the same thing. All you gotta do is be able to put in the work, and you can literally flow this thing as a side gig. It's so, you know, I know this video is for the people who might be confused. Hey, should I do it as a side gig? Hey, should I go full time? We telling you the both sides of both, right?
They're both great.
There is good sides to both. Obviously, it's cons and pros to everything. So you can do this part time. You do not have to quit your job. You can go get an apartment somewhere. We're in your city, or if you got the space in your house, you can do it, y'all. You can do it part time. Keep your job. You do not have to quit your job.
You know what? Not. I wanted to say too that that there are these people out here. They're called co-hosts. You'll learn this as you go. You may have already heard that term before. But another good thing about like when you are doing it as a side hustle is that you could get a co-host. And then if you get a co-host, you actually don't have to do anything. So we didn't have co-hosts when we were doing our side hustle. We did for a little while, but we realized that it didn't make any sense for us at the time. We could do it ourselves. So my job was 5 minutes down the street from our unit. So I was able to walk there literally And if a guest needed something or I needed to go over there, I could do that real quick. So it didn't really make as much sense for us. But you could get a co-host, y'all,
Yeah.
and you could have the co-host do all your stuff. You know, they have co-hosts, they take 10% of your profits, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that much really when you
Mm-hmm.
think about the fact that it's preventing you from having to go pick up a
To
key
do
or
stuff. Yeah.
anything
Do
like that.
little small stuff.
So you could get a co-host, and now your Airbnb short-term rental is super passive.
Yeah.
Now you don't even have to go check on your cleaners or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do that off the rip.
Yeah. And let me tell you another gem. We can flip that, the other way. And you can, in turn, go be a co host for somebody else. And that is another way to use Airbnb as a side hustle, y'all. It's so many ways to pull out money in this business. I want to be able to touch on just a little bit of all of them, right? So even if you're not comfortable, say for example, I got that extra space in my house, but I really don't want nobody in there. That's fine. You can go and be a co-host to somebody who is already doing Airbnb. And, because you are a co-host, they're going to be using you for a part-time, right? You're not going to be full-time. You are not the host. You are a co-host. So you're going to be assisting the host, here and there throughout the week. Obviously, y'all will work out y'all scheduling. But that is another way, y'all. And I'm talking about simple stuff. Your job can be as simple as, I got to go open the door for these people. Like, and your co-host can pay you 10% of every booking they get, and all you're doing is going to open the door.
And imagine if you in a really good location like Atlanta or Houston, so your bookings are top dollars, right?
Top dollar. So
top dollars.
We talking 10%. I'm not about to do no math for y'all right now. Not doing it. But we talking 10%. If your host is averaging, $600, $700, $800 bookings, you're getting 10% of every booking. So if they got 10 bookings that month, you just got 10% of 10 different times. 10 different payments. That's 10 different payouts, y'all.
Imagine if they like us and they got 10 units. And you hitting.
Now you hitting,
you
right?
Eating every day.
And then that's how you can go from a part-time situation to, hey, I'm getting money. I'm about to be a co-host full-time. I got 20 properties that I co-manage. Now I'm making enough money to where I can do this full-time, y'all. So I hope that this video was helpful. We wanted to break down a few differences between doing Airbnb full-time and doing it part-time. There's so many ways that you can do it part-time. You don't have to just think about it one way. You don't have to quit your job. You can do Airbnb as a side hustle, and you can do it full-time. You can start on the side, gradually work your way up to full. You can start on the side and keep it as a side. You don't have to do that if you don't want.
There's no right way or wrong way.
There's no right or wrong way to doing it, y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? I hope this video was successful to y'all. I hope this was good information.
Yeah.
And make sure y'all stay tuned in to the membership, y'all. We really appreciate everybody joining. We're going to be dropping more videos. So make sure after you watch this video right here, go ahead and carry on over to the next video and keep getting this information.
And comment below some questions that y'all might have. If you listened to the video and you had one or two more questions, comment below some questions that y'all might have. We might answer them.
Yes, comment below in the comment section some questions, and we'll do our best to answer these questions either in the comment section or on the following video. All right.
Peace.
Peace.